Canada has just publicly accused the Indian government of a major crime, and now India is starting to ban all new Canadian visas. But David, how did this beef start?
Ooh, this escalated quickly. I don't know if this fella Justin Trudeau really knows what he got Canada into.
All right, guys, this is kind of crazy because I think generally people view Canada as a very neutral, state or neutral country. Obviously, being from America, we look at Canadians as very nice. But Justin Trudeau has accused the Indian government of putting out an assassination hit on Hardeep Singh Nijjar, okay? And now Hardeep Singh Nijjar, he did get killed in Vancouver, BC by a bunch of masked gunmen. Why? So it was clearly a targeted hit. So, unfortunately, rest in peace. But in India, to the government, he's viewed as like a separatist, like terrorist. And then in Canada, he's more viewed as an activist, right? And we're not going to get into the super details about what's going on over there because I'm not an expert in that, but I just know that's how it's viewed. So then Trudeau, to Parliament and publicly on TV, said and accused the Indian government of putting this hit out. Now, if you guys don't know, that's a pretty big accusation to give to a government, to the president of India, the most populous country in the entire world.
Yes, and a lot of people were shocked. I think even Canadians themselves were like, ooh, Trudeau, what's gotten into you today?
So let's talk about what the theory is of what Trudeau is doing or why he did that and what is his response now. Is he backtracking at all or trying to downplay what happened? Because no doubt, obviously, a political figure being killed is a thing. You got to look into it, but maybe he didn't handle that correctly, and who knows what the ramifications are. Please hit that like button. Check out other episodes of the Hot Pot Boys as we delve into this issue.
Yeah, this one is complicated, but Andrew, some people are saying it's as simple as election season.
Sure.
Real quick, guys, just a word from our sponsor, Smala. From Sichuan to Sicily, get it at smalasauce.com. Right now, I'm telling you, you can use this as an olive oil on anything. It is incredible on noodles, pastas, carbs, rice.
Made with real truffle and made in the USA.
Yeah. Andrew, there are 1.4 million Indians in Canada, about half of which are Sikh. And this does have to do with some religious beef between, I believe, the Hindu dominant government of India and a Sikh separatist movement for Khalistan. By the way, I do not believe that all Sikhs are into it. It is like a portion of it.
Right.
Yeah. So, this is crazy, Andrew. I thought that Justin Trudeau doing the brown face was going to be the craziest incident that he had with India. But I'm telling you, this got turned up because what happened was Canada sent away the Indian diplomat. India sent away the Canadian diplomat, which happens when two countries
they sent them back to the countries.
They sent them back to their countries. But now India has banned all new visas incoming to India from Canada.
Right. So India's already taking action, being like, yo, we don't like what you're saying. We don't approve of this. Oh, and if you think we're the enemy, then how about just no Canadians come over here?
Yeah. And then Trudeau is trying to say, hey, by the way, guys, I'm not trying to provoke or cause problems. I just want to, let's just have a conversation and take a look at it.
Yeah, so I guess generally, David, what are the main different reactions? We're going to get into the comment section because I'm not going to try to say I'm an expert on Canadian foreign policy, but I'm just going to react to what's going on.
I think my quick thought is whether it's true or untrue, it just seems like he showed his hand way too early. It just seemed like a very, very bad political chess move.
Well, it seemed like him publicly accusing the Indian government of doing such a thing like this. It's whether or not the Canadians deep down think that because there's so many different reasons.
There's so many layers of government and systems and
obviously America's CIA does a bunch of stuff, but also like maybe the American government also wants to hide stuff, but maybe the Canadian government's like, yeah, well, we're Canadian. We're going to be transparent of how we feel.
The second I get the report on my desk, I just say it to the public.
But then it's probably doesn't seem like it's a good idea for foreign policy. So I don't know. I mean, it depends on what his goals are, right?
Yeah, and then some people were asking like, all right, so usually, Andrew, it's the U.S. dragging Canada into a conflict. Is this Canada trying to drag the U.S. into a conflict? Because a lot of people were like, hey, listen, guys, if you guys think that the U.S. is going to like come in and back up Canada on this, you are probably pretty mistaken because the U.S. really needs India right now as a hedge against China in the Asia-Pacific region.
Right.
Yeah, I think honestly what it boils down to for me, Andrew, is just the carelessness that a lot of Western politicians treat Asia with. Andrew, I'm talking about everything from like Kamala Harris going to the DMV between South Korea and North Korea and saying, our greatest allies is North Korea. She said the wrong country.
Right.
Like literally, doesn't that show, Andrew, that a lot of like American or like Western politicians, they just do not take Asia foreign policy that seriously.
Right. Or they're just also inept politicians, period.
Yeah. I mean, does this remind you of Biden telling all black people that they're not black if they don't vote for him? Or Trump trying to play up this whole Christian angle, but Trump didn't even know how to say the names in the Bible? Or like, you know, even Kamala said her favorite rapper that was currently alive was Tupac recently. And they were like, Tupac's not alive. And she was like, haha, you're right. You got me. I always do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think this just brings up a lot of stuff. Andrew, make sure you like, subscribe, turn on your notifications, Andrew. Some people are saying, Andrew, that because there was a lot of Sikhs supporting Jagmeet Singh, who's Trudeau's right-hand man to support the NDP party, this was more of a internal re-election move.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, possibly. Obviously, we understand when it comes to being reelected, politicians will say all types of things.
Yes.
Right?
Will.
While even potentially like putting the country's relationships at stake. Now, unless Modi also knows what the game is, that what Trudeau is doing, and everybody's just playing it up to be mad about each other, even though maybe the two sides, they don't think it's as big of a deal. I don't know. You're
right. Somebody said Trudeau is not focusing on the Canadian economy. Food prices are rocket sky high. Nobody can afford to pay their loans on their house. Housing prices are out of control. So many people are on the street. Really, where are his priorities? I've been hearing this from a lot of people, Andrew, even our cousins who are Asian.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people very, very unhappy with Trudeau right now. Andrew, somebody said, what is the role of neutral countries to sort of like deal with this stuff? Are you taking the side of the activists? Are you taking the side of the bigger country that you're trying to have a relationship with? Because everybody perceives different people differently, right?
Right. So I guess this person's asking if Canada is supposed to be labeled and considered a neutral country, then they're not being very neutral right now.
Right. But maybe you could say that they're being neutral in the sense that they were on the side of the person who was exercising their free speech.
Well, also, I mean, someone did just get killed, so of course you have to look into that, and you're gonna go try to find out who killed him, just like any other crime, right? So clearly, it's not like, oh, this Hardeep gets killed and then nobody looks into it, because then that would be super suspicious.
Somebody said, whatever the truth of the problem may be underneath it all, it was just pretty dumb of Trudeau to say it so publicly so early.
Right.
Is it true, Andrew? In America, they just literally keep things, they would just not say anything, right? Yeah. Somebody said, it could be true. What about if everybody in the West just breaks off diplomatic relations with India? And someone said, that is crazy. People in America probably, let's be honest, they cannot be bothered to care about this issue from any sort of technical standpoint or to understand it. To them, to America, India is just too vital of a strategic and economic partner.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, how often do you think it just comes down to like, that's a big dog right there? And like, America's viewing this as like, yeah, this is terrible, but this is like a little thing, whatever.
Yeah. I just thought like, if Justin Trudeau has Modi's phone number, he could have just called him up privately and been like, hey, Modi, did you do this, man? Like, this was not cool. Like, you know what I mean? Like, from a...
Because it is a big violation. If it is true, it is a big violation.
It is a violation, of course. But I guess just saying it out loud was weird. Like, I guess even people, like citizens who are like, we don't want the government to lie to us. Even they were like, really? Is that true? Are you sure you want to accuse somebody? Because we know in America, we got the whole, like, accusatory culture here. So if we accuse somebody, you got to be ready to have the evidence.
People were saying, Andrew, even as late as the 1930s, wars in Europe were started over accusations like this, over assassination accusations. Yeah. So somebody was just like, yo, what's going on with Canada? We're acting real different, just out of character.
No, you're right. Like, this is a plot for a movie where two countries go to war. Like, something. I mean, maybe it wasn't President Modi. Maybe it was somebody on his team who did it, who ordered. I don't know.
Right.
I'm not saying it was. I have zero information about it, but Obviously, that's the speculation.
Yeah,
so.
obviously we are like way on the outside looking in, but it is fascinating as Americans, Andrew. Usually you're thinking that America's turning up and Canada's kind of like, oh, we're gonna go fight? All right, I got your back. I wouldn't have did that, but I got your back, dog. And then now even Americans are looking at Canada like, hey, buddy, what are you doing up there?
Yo, it's kind of like America, who's like the bigger buffer friend who usually fights, and then he's got his like smaller, nice friend who's now getting into some beefs, who started some beef, and then like America's kind of like, hey, bro, do you know what you're doing right now?
Yeah, like I'm trying to be homies with them.
I'm just asking, do you know what you're doing right now?
Right. Yeah. Andrew, long story short, like I said, in terms of the actual situation itself, I don't really know what happened, but I'll say this. I do not think that as Asia becomes a more and more important part of the globe, it is already the most populated part of the world, Andrew, with 60% of the world's population there. I just know that it seems like a lot of Western politicians just do not treat it with any sort of seriousness.
Right. I mean, ultimately, listen, they got to go figure out who committed this crime. If it leads back to the Indian government, so be it. I think that accusing, I don't know if that was proven when he said he accused them. You know what I mean? Like, because usually you accuse somebody of something, they get arrested, or, this is how it works in America. You accuse somebody, they get arrested, you put them in jail to sit there, they get their lawyer, the lawyer comes through, everybody builds their case up, and then presents it at a trial.
Yeah.
And then at the trial, then you get trialed to see what the verdict is.
Yeah, like maybe Canada was just like, oh yeah, normally we let the Americans take the lead, so I just got a little bit brash on this one.
Yeah, what if Trudeau's like, dude, I don't know, I just snapped, bro. Like I was just so fed up and like it was angry, which I could see why people are angry for sure. Like can't send like.
Right, because he's jeopardizing the geopolitical status of an entire country versus an entire.
Maybe Trudeau
country.
was like, yeah, I seen Donald Trump talk tough, so I don't know. I just wanted to talk tough. But
it looked fun. I'm not going to lie. My blood was surging. It was a terrific feeling.
It felt good at first, but, I don't know. Maybe I should apologize.
Long story short, man, everybody, I don't know how we got here, Andrew, but all the important countries need better leadership.
Yeah.
And maybe it's on the citizens to elect better leaders, too.
Man. Guys, you let me know in the comments down below what you think about all this. Again, you want to talk about neutral. I'm completely neutral on this. I just saw a move that seemed out of character for Canada. But who knows? Maybe Canada is changing. So
let us know what you guys think in the comment section below. Keep it civil. Until next time, we out. Hot Pot Boys. We out. Peace.